Well, I guess now that I've left my mic live, I might as well start the show. Good evening, I'm Zaraganat. Welcome to the studio, and we will be doing some more of this pussycat this evening. I've been rearranging my desk a little bit, so things are a little bit not where I expect them to be, but we will deal with that. I've remembered to put glasses on. I've remembered to record the stream. I've remembered to check the microphone. I forgot to mute the microphone before I started the stream up, but what the heck. Let's turn this on. So I was going to start something else on, not on this, but something like this afternoon. Never got round to it. Maybe tomorrow. Now then. We've got the eyes. We've got the nose. I think we're probably going to be using a lot of this pencil tool. He says, looking, I've got a spoon shader, I've got the knife. I did have a spear shader somewhere. I'm sure I had a spear shader. Trouble is, I don't know where it is. That is the trouble when you've got replaceable tips. So, like this, with the screw things on, you just have the end. It means you've got lots of a lot smaller things to keep track of. And I'm sure I've got a spear shader, as I mentioned. I just don't know where it is. I'm wondering if the knife might be a useful thing to do at this point. Let's try it out. Mainly because I've not done it for a long time. Not used it for a long time. Let's put it on this one. Nice and polished. So, okay, what I was thinking about is This is a bit heavy. I just wanted to see whether I'm going to need more. I'm going to need to switch the heat to the right pen again. It always helps. Yeah, I'm going to be using this, I think, quite a bit. In fact, actually, that's heating up rather a lot. So, I am just looking at this and wondering just where to start. And in fact, I'm just thinking about switching pens again. Now that's interesting. There's pen clips on the side of the razor tip. And for long enough I've used the heavy duty pens on the right hand side, and the clip has now opened up enough so that it doesn't sort of to hold those, but it doesn't hold the small pens anymore. I am just thinking that I want to put in a little bit of Now, I'm not specifically outlining anything here, except that the ears kind of have a black fur outline. I can't help thinking maybe a spear shader here might be a better idea, just because this is sort of texturing the surface. Rather than it being smooth. Yeah, I'll do something like that in a minute. So if you're watching Pyrography for the first time, as you might well be, I guess, then what I'm doing here is marking the wood with heat. That's not quite what I was after. Now there's that really. The colour the wood goes depends on just how much heat I apply and how long I leave that heat on the particular spot that I'm working on. So how brown it goes depends on the quantity of heat, not the heat as such. So if I turn this tool up really hot and only touch it for a very short period of time, that'll be about the same amount of heat as if I turn it down and apply it for a lot longer. So it really is the quantity that matters here rather than the actual temperature of the tool. Now of course, where I'm just wanting here to just dab it down, same thing still applies, but generally speaking I'm going to have the tool a bit hotter just because it's sort of like a one touch. That's it, it's down, it's gone, and I don't actually want it to have to try and go over it again. Now I'm working in a realistic style rather than a sort of cartoony type style of an outline. I'm not outlining. It might look like I'm outlining, but the leopard here does actually have a black fur on his ear tips. Now this is going to be an interesting thing because this is kind of reversed. So I'm sort of working, well I am working black on white obviously, but what's going to be happening here is I'm going to be using negative space. And by negative space it means that what I'm not going to be doing is I'm not going to be putting in the white fur. I'm believing that as a space I'll be filling in the shadows and the other shapes, but I'm not going to be doing the white fur, so negative space, the black bits in between. Now this is a bit of a departure for me in that I'm using this knife tool. And it really is a relatively sharp knife. It can be used for cutting things like mylar and some plastics, where the heat helps the cut basically. it melts its way through, but it is actually quite sharp. And I'm going to be using it for the fur on this, or some of the fur. Normally I use my shader and use the edge of it, but that has a tendency to sort of cut quite deep, and I've got a lot of fine hairs here really. I'm actually wondering, yeah, all the way up his nose here, he's going to be really sort of fine dots. And thank you for the reminder. I need to tell this thing not to go to sleep. Never. And never. Otherwise I lose my chat window. I've got to log back into the PC. It's 1868 as far as... Oh, that was very nice of him. I was watching this the other day. He's a pyrographer as well. And it's really interesting to watch. So if anybody's watching, you get a chance to see was it S 1868? I don't think that's when he was born. I wonder why 1868. But if you get a chance to see S, take a look at his channel. It was quite fascinating to watch. No, he was carving. He did some pyrography, but he was carving. Yes, a VW camper van. I think he'd already done a VW Beetle, and he was the wood was being well, he was using it as a mounting a coat hook on it, so you've got sort of like a number plate, a numbered coat hook, but you know what I mean, with a thing on it. What's the thing on it? Oh dear, English. Now it's going to come all the way up here and all the way down the side. I've got a lot of tiny hairs, especially here, right on the bridge of the nose. It's all negative space stuff, so I suppose you must have black fur to get well, I mean, I know they do have black fur. It's just lots of tiny dots, isn't it, really? Right here on the nose. As we get up about the bridge of the nose here, then the fur starts to get longer. But down here, it's lots of small. Now I kind of could do this using the larger pen, with the writing tip basically, but I don't know. Kind of feels like I ought to do it this way. Now, as I do get, well, it sort of mixes some large and small. So basically, I suppose what I could do at this point really is deal with giving myself roughly a pattern to work with. So that's going to come to, yeah, about there. So just a few dots. And that's, yeah, it's just about there, so it's effectively across there. I've got to fill that bit in, and you probably can't see that, but I can. There's a space there, trapezoid I guess that's called, bit of fancy name. Now, what I may do is, having done all this, I may tone it down a little, because this between these dots is the background wood. It's which is sort of fairly white. And it may well turn out that that's a bit too bright. Now the thing about this is I've got to be random, which is really hard for humans. I've not got to introduce a pattern. So it has to look random. Whether it's actually random on the CAD, I don't know, but yeah, there is a lot of dark, yeah. Around the centre here, it's a lot darker. There's more dots than there is more negative space than there is positive space. Now I could do that just by darkening the whole thing down, dropping a shade over the top of it. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. So what I'm doing here is letting these dots that I'm putting down sort of expand out a little bit. It's almost as though there's not a lot of fur there. It's, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm doing this actually justice or doing it particularly well. Actually, that doesn't look bad, that looks better. So what I'm doing is I'm using the pen or the blade slightly sideways, kind of like 45 degrees, and sort of pushing it down into the wood, it's tending to submerge a few dots together, and it's starting to resemble more what I'm looking at. I may need to be something I'll do on the second pass again. Hello Wolfie, good evening. Welcome to the studio tonight. How are you? That's good. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. For a lot of people, of course, it's now back to work for tomorrow. Not for me. I'm on holiday. Doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm just not being paid for what I'm doing. I will probably spend tomorrow standing around, not doing a lot. Unfortunately, it's something I need to do. No, I'm not fired. I'm on holiday. Fired. I'm too good at what I do. That doesn't mean I'm indispensable, it just means I'm really good at what I do, so they don't want to fire me at the moment. She went overboard. Well, that's good. As long as it keeps, you got plenty to drink, that's good. Lady Zara did that last time, we've only just got most of it in the fridge. Yeah. I'm not sure quite. So what sort of drinks? Is it fruit juices, fizzy drinks, alcohol? I know I end up drinking a lot of fruit juices. As I mentioned, Lady Zara buys a lot of fruit juices, and then some of them go out of date, and so I get to have the out of date ones. Let's switch back to the shader for this. 70% water, 20% juices, 5% colour and 5% air. I kind of, water-wise, I prefer fizzy water. I drink quite a bit of fizzy water. Fizzy water is quite well. It's relatively cheap. Well, it depends on where you buy it from. I sort of buy supermarket owned brand fizzy water. It's really cheap that way, and I can't tell the difference between that and more expensive brands. So there's literally no point in me having an expensive brand. So I get a 2 litre bottle for about 18 UK pence, which is probably going to be what, about 20 cents. Which is great because you can mix it with cordials, you know, with squash, and you can get sort of fizzy flavoured drinks for a lot cheaper than you can buy them. There's one of our local supermarkets sells a cordial which is grapefruit juice, which when you mix it with the gassed water, it tastes more like grapefruit juice than grapefruit juice does. You just like non-fizz water? Well, yeah, Lady Zara doesn't like fizzed water. I do. If you ever have a hangover, fizzed water is good. Actually, any sort of fizzy drink is good because the fizz helps you absorb the water quicker. And as a hangover is effectively dehydration, absorbing water quicker is a good idea. That's not why I drink it, by the way. I just kind of like it. I like the sharpness you get. It's sort of a, I don't know. You get it with any sort of fizzy drinks, I suppose, but just with water, it just sort of, well, it's the same thing but cheaper. If I drink normal water, though, it's got to be cold. Just out of the fridge. Yeah. No, I don't. One of the reasons I don't particularly drink is I don't want a hangover at all. For many years I got migraine headaches. Really bad migraine headaches. To the point where I would be laid on the floor. If I was at work, I would literally have to lie on the floor under the desk, partly to stop people walking into you because they don't expect you to be laid on the floor, but just for it to be slightly dark. And it was, extremely painful. So it's kind of like a hangover is just like. Well, hangover is kind of a mild migraine, but it's kind of like, why do I want to do that to myself when I can get it for nothing? Yeah, and you're Dutch, so your English spelling isn't necessarily as good as it might be. I understood what you meant, but fridge has a D in it. A fringe is one of these. Don't worry, Wolfie, I understand. There's one advantage to the UK in winter, and that is the water that comes out the tap is really cold, and it's really nice because of that. Lady Zara prefers bottled water, so she's always putting ice cubes in hers. Retro Banjo, hello! I thought you were on holiday. How are you doing, sir? Nice to see you. Thank you very much for that. How's things going with your channel? Anybody who's watching, Retro Banjo is a YouTuber. Plays, well, retro games on things like SNES, isn't it? I think, and things like that. Now I've got to be careful because this isn't a line. It's it's a shadow really. And there is actually sort of fur around it, and it's that fur that it's not a smooth line like that. So having sort of put that in, I've now got to really chop up that line a little bit. Oh, that's quite alright, thank you for the follow now anyway, Retro. You're going to test out Twitch again? Okay. What, later this evening or later this week? I'm not sure I'm doing this all that well. Kind of got to do this. It's negative space. I mean, I'm hopping around a bit, but when you're doing white fur, you can't pyrograph white. It'd be obvious. I don't know. So you're actually doing the bits either side, the little shadows at the either side of the hairs, and is this a bear or a dog? Wolf is right there. It's cat. Or rather, it's a leopard. What I intend to do is do the background here in black, and so it's a night time, so this is coming out of the darkness towards you. It's to show other people. It's based on something I did before, which I'll just dig out of here. I did this in scraper board, and I thought I'd try it with pyrography. So Canva isn't quite picking it up because all of this is there as well, but the intent is to do something like that. Now this is positive. I've got to do that, but in reverse. I'm going to do it negative. Yeah, just very, very slightly a lot. At the moment, I'm not quite sure I'm doing it very well, to be honest. It might improve with time. And of course, the thing I've got with the fur is furs laid over the top of each other, and the cat's fur basically works its way from the tail forward, laid back. So as you come forward in the cat, the hairs which are nearer the front are laid over the ones further back, all the way to a spot about there on the nose, and everything radiates away from it, so there's a little tiny spot which is almost bald, sort of, and you kind of have to start at the back and work your way forward. So start here and come up, or start on the legs and work that way. You got to stand at the bottom and come up so that you get the forward hairs in front of the hairs behind. To get a good look. I'm not sure. I mean, that's how it should be done. I'm going to see whether I actually need to do that as I work my way through this. And I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So I am kind of doing the positive image was relatively easy. Doing this negative image is proving to be somewhat of a challenge. In fact, I think probably this pen's just too hot. Now, what I probably will do with this is do lots of hair, because this is quite coarse hair down here. It gets a little bit different when I get down here, but kind of do lots of hair, then go back in afterwards and put the black dots in, or the black markings. This is too thick, too thin rather. So I'm going to try it with a different pen. So I'm really just trying to understand how to do this as I'm work my way through it. And it's still coming out too light, too fine. I'm not getting what I'm looking for. I'm not going to get the realism out of this unless I'm Well, unless I can find another way of doing it. It doesn't look, it's not looking realistic to me, it's kind of looking off. These hairs are what, about that long? I'm going to just persevere for a while, because this could be one of those things that just in small patches doesn't look very good, but once you build it up it looks a lot better. But they are fine. The coarse ones are up at the top. You can tell I'm not happy with this, especially when I keep changing pens to try something different. Cool down. Let's get this cool. I think I know what's fooling me here, and that is I'm looking at these things that I'm doing as the hair, and it's not. It's the area. It's the bits between the hair. I'm not sure that's going to work. I'm not sure at all. Let's bring the camera in a bit closer so you can get a better idea what I'm looking at, although I don't know quite what I'm looking at here. So this isn't a matter of copying a real fur or anything. It really is a case of just trying to get something that looks like fur. And there's absolutely no way out. What I'm going to do is take the reference I'm using and try and copy it. There's absolutely no way of doing that. Sorry, there is a way of doing it. There's absolutely no way I'm going to do that. So what I'm just after is something that looks like a leopard. And that's actually looking better. Okay, so I'm not exactly doing lines. I'm sort of scrubbing slightly sidewards, and it's giving me a coarser hair look, which is what I was after around here. So I'm not going straight up down, I'm sort of doing it sideways, sort of scribbling slightly as I was scribbling with a pencil. Negative space stuff is always a lot more of a challenge, because you're just not used to looking at negative space. It's something which is really useful to an artist to be able to do, is to use negative space, but it can often be as important as the positive space, but it's just something that you're just not used to looking at. You look at the foreground, you look at the prominent things, you look at the thing that you want to look at, you don't want to look at the space between the things, which it often defines them better than the whatever the thing is itself. I mean, in some ways it's that classic, if you see it, the classic vase, or it's the two faces looking at each other. The two faces look at each other are the negative space image, the vase is the positive space image. And a lot of people see one or the other, and usually they see the vase, and it takes a while to see the faces. So we just, without the practice, which I haven't had, it's kind of harder to represent the negative space. I keep wanting to say phase. If I say phase, I mean space. Right, so I'm kind of happier with that now. Okay, let's put in some of the spots. Now of course the spots are just black fur or black pigment really on the skin, so the fur that grows in that area is also black. Sorry, that camera is wobbling rather a bit, isn't it? Not only that, it's probably slightly out of focus. I'm going to have to focus that. You tell me if it's out of focus. It's kind of weird. The other kitten, who's around sometimes, but not today, he's got some black whiskers, and the black whiskers themselves aren't particularly remarkable as such, But the weird, it's kind of weird when you look at them because they come out of a little black patch of black skin. Whiskers, a lot of cat whiskers are white. But Thea has some odd black ones. I'm kind of working on details too much. At least I really should do more sort of large scale blocking in first. But, yeah, right. What I should do, what I am doing. Two entirely different things. Hey Retro, are you on holiday now? Hey Leazar, good evening. Welcome back to the studio this evening. Thank you very much. I'm not sure I'm loving it quite as much as you are, but there again, that's just me, and I've not quite got into what feels like the right, the right technique or the right shapes yet. We'll just work on it until I do, but so I'm trying to do here is kind of make these the black dots up by making short black fur, rather than just sort of going, I want a dot, like you would do with a pen, maybe sort of scribble it in a little bit. I'm trying to actually sort of make this look like it is actually the fur. So you've got rough edges. They're not regular. It's not actually a dot. I've had some people ask me before, how long is this going to take? The answer is it takes as long as it takes until I'm happy with it, but it's likely to be something in the order of 10 to 20 hours to complete something like this. You've just somehow been a bit busy. Yeah, I've kind of ended up being busy. I'm kind of the same. Time just slips away. Mind you, having said which, it didn't matter because I didn't stream last week during the week, Monday to Friday, so you didn't miss anything. Now what I can do with this is come back afterwards using a sharp point, something, I don't know, like a scalpel or something like a one of these pointy tools. Is that camera out of focus? And I can come back in and create some white space. I'm not doing it here, but like that. Can't do it till I finish though, because if I do that, I'm actually going to disrupt the surface. And if I disrupt the surface and I try and put pyrography over the top of it again, it will not look right. I'm sorry about the camera shake. Another thing I can do about that is come out a little bit further, and then the shake hopefully isn't quite as obvious. I am trying to save up to get a microphone stand. Then I can mount the camera on a microphone stand, and I can actually stand it probably behind me looking over my shoulder. But because it won't be attached to the desk on a long arm, it won't shake when I move the desk like that. And all the way through doing this, one of the things I've got to bear in mind is everything on this cat is fur, apart from his eyes. So there is essentially no smooth edges, except where they are too far away to see. But essentially, even then, when I look at the ears, for example, there's a furry edge to them. There's a slight ripple, and I've got to do that all the way through this cat. I can't have basically any straight lines at all. Everything's made up of fur strokes, hairs. So if I want to represent it realistically, I've got to kind of do that. I mean, I could just sort of do a light colour for that fur and black, jet black dots and colour in between them a little bit, but that's not my style. Have you seen the scraper board image that I did, Laser? Did you see that one? Because actually in scraper board, it wasn't actually that much of a pain, especially once I sort of got the hang of it. I'll show you the image if you. I'll show you the scraper board if you haven't seen it. Because I'm doing this based up. He says, wondering if I showed you it not so long ago. Oh no, that was Retro Banjo I was showing. Let me get the just grab it again. I keep putting it away because I've not varnished it yet, and I do not want to scratch it. Now, this camera wants adjusting actually. It's underexposing, but because you can see the legs here as well in real life. In fact, maybe if I just tilt it slightly, will they come in? You can sort of see the legs. The legs are there, but I'm reflecting now the ceiling lights. But this was a relatively easy one to do. It was a pain in that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of little tiny hairs, but it was a relatively easy image to do. But the scraper board suited it really well, and the leopard. And I sort of freely admit, sort of trying to do this in reverse. Thank you. Trying to do it in reverse is completely different. Ah, okay. Well, now you've got to see the outcome. I'm really not sure this is. I'm doing this, but I'm really not sure this is working. Now, I can use a bit more heat on this. Now this is kind of like a black line, but it's a black line because all the dots have merged together. Now here on the muzzle, basically, which each of the dots is a place where one of the long hairs comes out of. This is going to be a lots and lots and lots of dots. You know what? I now remember that when I did the scraper board, one of the things I kept saying was there's lots and lots and lots of dots. Remind me not to do this again. I wonder what. The sudden thought just crossed my mind is I wonder what this would look like done as a negative image. So a black tiger with a black leopard with white spots. One of the things I was thinking of doing, possibly as an odd stream, sort of odd daytime stream, was to take something like that bit of the face, but do it as a full A, do it that way, and so just put the the eyes about sort of this big across. Right on the and maybe just a little bit of the nose and the muzzle in down here, but do it on paper, possibly even do it on A3 paper, and just to play about with paper, but just to see what it comes out like. Although, having said which, I am re-evaluating that at the moment. With the thousands of dots, that's what's causing me to re-evaluate this at the moment. Maybe I'll do the cottage instead. That's another one I did on scraperboard, which I think might look good on Pyrography. Not bad. Right, let's make this darker. Actually no, with the leopard spots they're actually black or just really sort of a dark colour. Never got that close to one to find out. It's something that wouldn't really have even crossed my mind previously, but I know our two cats, we've got Junior and Felix. Both of them look like black and white cats until they're side by side. And then you can see that Junior really is black, but Felix is a really dark brown. That's the nice thing. The nice thing about doing dots on a leopard is I just put the dots wherever I want. There isn't sort of they have to be in this particular place. So in respect of the reference drawing, I am using the reference to give me an idea of the shapings, the body shape, where the curves are, because that's what helps you determine what you're looking at. curves kind of in like that towards the eyes. This is I'm kind of just fascinated here because I'm using this pen, this knife pen, on its side, but I'm still getting lines from it. And it's actually taking it's what's surprising me is how hot this is, and I don't know if it's because of the sharp tip or anything, but this I'm running at a temperature of 2 on the dial. The pen I normally run about 3 on this wood is running about 3.5 to 4 to get a similar colour, and usually I'm running the shader anything around about 6.5 to 7. And this thing is probably too hot at 2. Now it's a fur direction there. That's straight out, but that isn't. Yeah, it's kind of there. So the thing I'm thinking to myself as I'm doing this is this the right tool that I'm using? And I'm not altogether sure. The tip of that one's cleaning. Getting the face shape is going to be the interesting bit on this. Why do you love today, Wolfie? What's gone well for you today that makes you love today? You've done nothing productive. I can only do that occasionally. I get bored easily by just sitting around doing nothing. So you've been watching videos, have you? Yes, sometimes I can end up just staring at a window, for example, and I can just get lost in not actually looking. It's kind of weird sometimes. I don't know if any of you experience it, but you suddenly become aware of the fact that you've not been aware of anything for a while. You don't remember actually seeing anything or hearing anything, but you suddenly just become aware. It's a bit like you've woken up without actually being asleep. It's a weird sort of feeling. You watch one movie in 10 hours. Okay. Laser, thank you very much for dropping in. Most kind of you. Have a really good night. Get some good sleep. Hopefully we'll see you on the stream again in the future. What makes you think Leopard was the one that the stream was for? Oh, different cat. Yeah, Leopard lost a cat, didn't he, not so long ago? I think. No, this is just literally because I thought I kept looking at the scraper board. I wonder what it looks like in. I've been watching. I say last week. I've been watching a few artists, pyrography artists, and there was one on YouTube that I can't actually remember now. That was doing some really nice sort of work, and it kind of inspired me to want to try and do better and try something, you know, challenging like this. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. No, it's interesting. It's not unexpected, but this tool is producing a different texture to the sharp one, which is kind of not unexpected because it's a different tool, but okay. Monkey glands. Monkey Lance. I was watching him the other night. What was I watching him do? You can make your own checks. I guess that makes you a trainer then. Yeah. in reality, these are little tiny hairs. Basically a random direction because it's kind of not just at that bit of the nose. And they don't carry a lot of fur. I don't know why, but it's on the bridge of the nose. But they're little tiny. They're like velvet. Yeah, well, I don't know about on a leopard, but if it's anything like a cat or a lynx, or even a lion, tiger for that matter. They're velvety soft, they're little tiny hairs. And I say that from experience because I've stroked all three. No. If only because I don't actually know what you're going to say. And that's... You can have the translation. You can add what you want me to think is the translation. Yeah. I know you'll just make a normal Dutch sentence. Yeah, I can make a normal English sentence, but it doesn't mean it's okay to be broadcast. Okay, go on then. We'll try one. I cannot speak Dutch, and I don't know how it's pronounced. So. I know that's a funny part. I know. Okay. You kind of wanted to say something like lazier. Now le. I am consciously trying not to pronounce it English-wise because I know it's not, and I've got a feeling that it's. You have more than 26 letters in the alphabet, don't you, in Dutch? And I'm kind of thinking that some of those are English representations of actual Dutch letters as opposed to what they actually are. You know what? I'm looking at that and yeah. I mean, I'm kind of looking at the double E, for example, and thinking that's not E. It's sort of an sort of sound, isn't it? The first word, and I've got a feeling the J is actually a y sort of sound, so sort of like what would be? There's rice, yeah. I don't know. I don't go around scaring women to find out. Gay. Yeah. Je. Okay. Je. Les je. So les. No, no. I'm not even. I was thinking the J was more of a yeah sound, rather you know. I suppose yeah, je. Nah. I literally am trying, but I'm not getting the sound that I think, and I'm sort of saying it to myself. Yeah, you'll always. I know you're going to tell me it's wrong whether I say it right or wrong. I could say it perfectly, and you'd say it was wrong. Leisure, lady, Lusher, nah. Leisure, lady, Lusher, Langs to Lang. Nah, I can't even think about how to do it. I'm giving up. I'm giving up. I'm on the right track. Leisure, lady, Lusher, Loppen, Langs de Lange, Lindenland, Nada. What would that be? I mean, if I was saying that in English, it would. In English, it's sort of. What was it? Hottentotten 10 toonstelling. It's a new, yeah. Double O is a new, yeah. But there isn't a double O. Oh, toon. Ah, yeah, like in toonstelling. That's about the best I can manage. Leisure, lady. Losje, Loppen, Langs de Lange, Lindenlaan, Nardig. I don't know. Hottentot. Oh, okay. You write one, but okay. So that's kind of, yeah. I learned a little bit of Danish at one point, so I kind of got used to a little bit of the English spelling of those letters, like the AE, an A and E literally combined together. But when you type it, on a straight English keyboard, you've got to separate the A and the E. But I can't remember any of it. So I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember the sounds of those, or sort of sounds. But I don't think I came across anything where it's you pronounce two vowels, but where there's just the one letter. But so you're talking about Lucia. Was it Lupin? Or Lucia, Loppen. Okay. As opposed to Lupin. Trouble is, you can't actually speak it out to see to actually see what it actually should sound like. Lupin. Yeah, no, I gathered that's what you meant. Pronounce Lupin. Yeah. There's a lot of English words that are like that. You don't pronounce them. You don't pronounce them anything like what they're actually spelling out. I mean, there's one that's local to Yorkshire, which people who are not from Yorkshire always do wrong. There's a word Harewwood, which is Harewood, and the place is called Harewood, but the fellow who owns Harewood is his name is a lord, and he's Lord Harwood. It's spelled exactly the same, but Hare Wood. He is Harwood. The place is Harewood, and you have to be a local to know that. O. I say O for O-H-H-H. See, one of the problems, Wolfie, with you teaching me things like that, is that you're teaching me the way that you say English as opposed to the way that I say English. So you might say OHH in a slightly different way to the way I say it. Which sort of then becomes sort of fun trying to I'm still not fantastically happy with this. I wonder if it is because. So let's do a little bit of underpainting. Yeah. I know what you mean, but it's the English is the same, and a lot of it's doesn't sound necessarily how it's spelt. So you always have that challenge. Well, your written English is fine. I don't know, I find English really easy to do, Wolfie. You still don't know how you write guess? As in, guess the answer to something? GEUSS? Or are we meaning something else? Yeah. GEUSS. That's probably right. which means my spelling's terrible. Yeah. I often will just be fascinated, but I mean sometimes I'll say a word and I don't know, it's almost like trying to find the shape of the word, like chair, and it doesn't sound, sometimes it just sounds odd, and I think, why do we call, I mean in English this is, why do we call a chair a chair? Or even, you know, why is a thing that I go and sit on not called a box? Well, it might be, I don't know, a table. But you know, it's, why did it become a chair? And of course, you've got your own word for it in Dutch, the same thing, which you understand to be the same object, but does it actually mean the same thing? So, you know, I can look at an object and give it a name, you can look at the same object, give it a name, but does that mean those two things are the same? It's an interesting thing. Because Mr. Chair found it out. Yeah. Well, I mean, ultimately somebody did, wouldn't it? But, I mean, somebody named it and they decided it was going to be called a chair, but it's still sort of, why? I think, yeah, I mean, PP, PowerPoint? No, well, I wouldn't have said that, you know, PP is an abbreviation for PowerPoint. No, it wouldn't be something that I'd look at and go, yeah, I know what that is. Interestingly, okay, say this and then move the subject on, but the actual pronunciation of PP in English would refer to the same thing as you're referring to it in Dutch, but it would actually be spelled differently. It would be a slang term. Or the sort of term that you use to children. Trouble is, these days there's a lot of borrowed words as well from different languages, you know, so you don't actually know what the origin is, and that's kind of why sometimes the same words are actually used. Okay. Yeah, no, you certainly in England you wouldn't think of PowerPoints. I mean, in England you talk about power sockets more than PowerPoints, I think, or plugs. I mean, a plug is a power. A plug isn't actually a PowerPoint, but most people would call them plugs. There's a plug on the wall. It's actually a socket, but Canadians. It could be if his what it might be is sort of industry specific. If he works in a particular industry, it could be something that he uses in that industry to you know, as a sort of an industrial shorthand. Okay. In gaming, all sorts of things get. I mean, LP and I don't know, PP. I'm not sure I've heard it used sort of in mana as meaning mana. I'm not fantastically happy with what's happening here. I'm going to persevere because you don't learn if you just give up, but I'm not fantastically happy with what I'm getting. Yeah, okay, this pen is not making good contact. As I mentioned, I don't like these connectors. There's an LED on the control unit. As I move this, just like it's disconnected now, the pen isn't connected. it's kind of an inverse LED. When it's not connected, it's bright, and when I actually sort of connect it, it goes dimmer. And I can see as I'm just twisting this, it's flickering. The contact is not very good. Come on. I'm struggling in a way here to get an effect or something that actually sort of looks like what I think it should look like. I think probably as I'm using the point of this blade here, I'm probably getting the closest, but still not sure it's what I want. They get more challenging though once I move away from this area here and I actually start to impart direction. Okay, Wolfie. Well, I should be stopping in a couple of minutes anyway. I was just kind of finishing off this bit here. I don't like horror films myself, so I wouldn't be watching any vampires. Oh well. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks, but it's another one of these. My art seems to look better at a distance. I'm going to leave that for tonight. Yeah, when you look at, you're looking at it from the on the camera. That's the same as if I take a step back, way back here. Then I'm getting a similar sort of look to what you're. I need to be a couple of feet further back, but I'll trip over stuff if I do that. looking at the camera and the image that you're seeing broadcast, that doesn't look so bad. It's just close up that I'm not happy with it. I'd be happy with what I see on the camera, but not when I'm seeing it locally, which is a weird sort of thing. You know, I've kind of got, it's almost a bit like a teddy bear at the moment with the ears, but not exactly the same sort of teeth as a teddy bear, I guess. It's not bad. It's not bad, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to call it a night. No, I'm going to call it a leopard, but I'm going to stop for the night. English, isn't it? Funny things. I'm going to say thank you for watching. If you are. If you're not, then obviously you don't know that. I hope I will be on again tomorrow evening, somewhere between 7 and 8 PM UK time. That's GMT at the moment. I'll try and start as close to 7 as I can, but it's meals and things like that. Sometime during this week I may try some daytime streams as well, so keep an eye out on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, down there, twitter.com/SarahGannat if you would like to catch any of those, or of course you can follow me here on Twitch as well, and as long as you've got notifications turned on and you happen to have a browser open, then I think it works. Although you may be able to get it to send you emails and things, can't quite recall. Either way, thank you. Hope I'll see you on the next stream. Bye for now.